Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to explore how much I spend on food in a typical month in Finland. We will break it down into three categories: grocery shopping, lunch at work, and my pleasure spending on restaurants, cafes, and bars. Of course, my expense vary depending on a month, so I took the average monthly expense in the last 12 months from April 2022 to March 2023. For your info, I live in Helsinki by myself. So let's get started. Living in Helsinki, I prefer to purchase fresh food and cook my own meals rather than relying on pre-packaged options. Since I go to CrossFit a couple of times a week, I like to focus on foods that are high in protein to support my workout. During the weekends, I especially enjoy spending time in the kitchen, cooking delicious and healthy meals. I usually shop at local supermarkets such as K-Market, S-Market, and Lidl, as well as local market hall, also known as kauppahalli in Finnish. Here is a breakdown of my typical monthly grocery expenses. On average, I spent €185 on groceries. This is smaller than I expected, although I think I eat quite well. It's hard to break it down into specific category with specific amounts, but the expense per category would be roughly like this. I'm sure grocery expense will be bigger this year because of the steep inflations. Here is a closer look at the food I frequently buy from each category. Meat and fish. I often purchase pork, chicken, and salmon as my main protein sources to support my active lifestyle. Nowadays, salmon is a bit more pricey. I cut them down in pieces, soak them in a salted sugar water for a day, and freeze them. And when I eat it, I just defrost and fry on a pan. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Lemon and ginger are my go-to choices, and I incorporate them into various dishes and drinks, especially for smoothie. Grain and bread. Although I don't buy bread often, I love stocking up on white and brown rice. I have bought Japanese rice from Asian shops, but nowadays I buy puro riisi or porridge rice since it's cheaper and tastes fine if I cook it with my rice cooker, which I brought from Japan. Dairy and eggs. I buy yogurt regularly to make morning smoothies. Also, eggs are so useful as they can be used for many dishes, so I buy them as well. Snacks. As a chocolate lover, I can't resist picking up some chocolate treats whenever I'm grocery shopping. I don't know how much I spent for fattigeisha during my life in Finland. Beverages. I prefer oat milk over regular milk just because I like the taste, and I avoid sugary drinks like Coca-Cola. Luckily, tap water in Finland is clean and tasty, so I don't have to buy bottled water here. Anyway, I'm able to maintain balanced diet in Finland. The next category is lunch at work. When it comes to lunch at work, some colleagues bring their own lunch, but I don't bring my own packed lunch. I prefer going out with my colleagues to a lunch restaurant located in the same building or nearby lunch restaurants. Sometimes we even go out for a team lunch at different restaurants. For example, this kind of lunch buffet costs 12 to 13 euros. The menu changes every day and most places have a salad bar, soup, dessert, and main meals. Here are some of the pictures of the main meals. My company partially supports our lunch expenses through an app called ePassi. When I work from home, I usually have lunch at home, but sometimes going out to a nearby restaurant. On average, I spent around 12.9 euros per lunch in the last 12 months. And with my company's contribution, my out-of-pocket average expense in a month was about 125 euros. I go to office 3 or 4 times a week, so the more I work from home and have lunch at home, the smaller this amount would be. Due to the current economic situation, the price at almost all lunch restaurants have increased in the last couple months. Now for the fun part, my pleasure spending on restaurants, cafes and bars. I like exploring new restaurants and cafes in Helsinki. I typically dine out or visit cafes once or twice a week, and I might go out for drinks once a month or even less. Here is a breakdown of my average spending in each category, and the expense on lunch at restaurants on weekdays is excluded from here since it's already in the previous category. I spent around 210 euros for restaurants, cafes and bars in a month on average. I guess most of them are from dining out at restaurants rather than cafes or bars. If I compare this with my expense back in Japan, I find that I spent less on it here in Finland. In Finland, dining out for dinner or drinks with colleagues after work is not as common as it is in Japan, so I spend less on eating out here in Finland. We can take a look at the expense in March 2023. The total expense was roughly around 265 euros, which include 215 euros for restaurants and 50 euros for cafes and bars. Let me share some of the actual expense on dinner at restaurants and cafes. So, to sum it all up, here's how much I spend on food in a typical month living in Helsinki, Finland. Grocery shopping 185 euros, lunch at work 125 euros, restaurants, cafes and bars 210 euros. In total, I spent approximately 520 euros per month on food. I analyzed a bit about my expense on food. For instance, there are small seasonal variations. Some ingredients might be more expensive or harder to find during certain times of the year, but it doesn't impact much. Also, my spending on food fluctuates quite a lot during special occasions such as friends' birthdays or when my friends visit Finland, because I prefer paying for them for those special occasions. Please keep in mind that this is just my personal experience and your food expense can vary greatly depending on your lifestyle and preferences. For instance, I don't spend much money on alcohol, frozen meals or fast food, but I tend to allocate a significant portion of my budget for meat, fish, fresh ingredients and my favorite restaurants. Anyway, I hope this video gave you some insights into the cost of food and living in Finland. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more videos about my life in Finland. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Moikka!